Oh boy, time now for another exciting episode of Mr. Nailsin's Thursday Comics. Yeah, Wednesday came and went. It tends to do that. And when that happens, it turns into Thursday. Yeah. So sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And the cookie always crumbles. Even if you get the whole cookie into your mouth, it's crumbling in your mouth. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, first up, Absolute Batman. Well, Batman's living with Bane now, and let's see how that's going. Well, not very well. It's pretty bad, and we get a story narrated by Alfred, who knows something about Bane. So we get some details about his background and where he comes from and how he started out and how he got to be where he is now.
I should have warned you. I tried. I almost managed it. We were in the Batmobile, crossing the bay to that terrible place, and I started to tell you about him. But when you turned to me, I just froze and wished you good luck instead. Good luck, like an old fool. The truth is, I was afraid. Maybe just of naming him, making him real, conjuring him up. But now he's here. He's coming for you at this very moment. Wherever you are, kid, I'm sorry. This is what I should have told you that night. It's the story of Bane and how he breaks your back.
So, is it going to go like it did in the original DCU? No. But he's already broken Batman pretty bad, and he's going to do even more. So, it's pretty bad. So we take a look at the past, and we get some good sights, and scenes and whatnot, and it's nice, isn't it? Abomination refers to Bane, not the lovely ladies here. No. So anyway, there's a few more details about his beginning. So.
It begins on an island called Santa Prisca. A boy is born amid the fighting, but there's always fighting here. The people threw off the Spanish, the French, and the Dutch, but the island is rich with things the world wants. The boy's father is a rebel leader. His group, Celios Libre, has been fighting for Santa Prisca's freedom for over 100 years. His grandfather led it, then his father, and now him. The group's flag shows Santa Prisca's national bird, the royal quetzal, a species that dies in captivity, rising high into the sky. One day soon, the boy's father tells him, when we have won peace, that bird will fly free. Can you see it, my boy? Like his father, the boy loves the island with every cell in his body, so he closes his eyes and tries, but no vision comes. Yes, father, he says, I see it. One night the boy eats cahoba, seeds and hopes of seeing. Let me back up there, Bruce. I'll start again. One night the boy eats cahoba seeds in hopes of seeing his father's vision. He stares at the flag, but instead of the quetzal, he sees a terrible bird, white and burning, with a back like a skull, and he wakes screaming. Years pass. The boy trains, studies, and the group makes inroads under his planning. One Tuesday, they take the capital. They hold it for 3 days. The moment is here, says the father. But on the 4th day, foreign troops are sent in, and the rebellion is crushed. See, this is Bane. Yeah, he's the one in red. The surviving members of Celios Libre are sentenced to life in Peñaduro, an infamous prison off Santa Prisca's coast, the boy and his father among them. 1 year passes, then 2. Still the boy's father is hopeful. Peace will be won, he says. They will never break us. Every night, the cold tide floods the cells to the very tops, forcing the inmates to fight for small, gasping breaths among the dead things washing in and out. The boy learns how to sleep hanging from the cage roof. He learns to pick jigger fleas from his skin in the morning. He eats rats for sustenance. One day, a computer is snuggled in. A picture of an actual quetzal is pinned to the screen, and the boy is horrified at how small the bird is. Weak-looking. The quetzal will fly, says the father. We will not break. 3 years pass. 4. Some men do break, turn on the father. The boy fights them off. 6 years pass. 7. Can you see it? Says his father at night, hanging from the bars next to him. The bird flying free. 8 years pass. 9. The boy closes his eyes and remembers his own bird, the one made of white fire, the skull of its back. Yes, father, he says. Well, how's that going to turn out? Oh, boy, you'll have to get your copy of Absolute Batman that details the story of Absolute Bane. Well, once again, with Absolute Batman, it goes way over the top with these stories. So a lot of this with Bane was very similar to what Snyder did with the Court of Owls, where they broke Batman and they put him in that, whatever it was, this torture chamber labyrinth thing that he was stuck in. And so when he ends up in Arkham, it says, well, he's kind of repeating that. And he is. But this is far more brutal. Basically, Bane breaks him in order to build him into something else, which is essentially what happens to him in his life story. So... but how does he do it, and what's the end result? Well, again, you'll have to get your copy of Absolute Batman 11. Meanwhile, what's the real Batman doing? Well, he's hanging out with Superman in World's Finest. So we've got a Bizarro world story going on here, and it's not bad. It's fine. So you have Bizarro World with Bizarro, of course, and Bizarro Batman. So something's afoot at Bizarro World. Everything's going wrong. There's a plague that broke out, and it makes Bizarro and Bizarro Batman rational. They're making sense. And this won't do, especially when your planet looks like that. So here we go. Einstein said God does not play dice with the universe, Robin. But if he did, well, it would probably look like that, Bizarro World would represent Snake Eyes. Is that Robin talking? Yeah, it is. My God, a Batman who doesn't growl. His voice. Oh, that was Bizarro Batman saying that. Oh, well, I screwed up there. Yeah, damn it. Why don't I remember this stuff? Anyway, my God, a Batman who doesn't growl. His voice sounds like an angel's song. And me without any bad aspirin. Wait, does this mean there's a Bizarro Robin? Sadly, Robin Zorro is in prison for beating Bizarro Joker to death with a crowbar. We muddle through. Let's cut to it then. There's a plague on Bizarro World that's causing its inhabitants to think rationally. Clearly, you too have caught it.
And you dragged us here to help you. Do what? Cheer?
You saw for yourselves, Robin. This plague is creating mass panic. No good comes from the Bizarros turning against one another. Yeah, you got to see last issue to see what he's talking about. But he pretty much explains the whole deal. So, but still, check it out. It's not bad. We need to find out what or who caused this pandemic before. Oh no. Of all the times for him to strike. Bam, bam, bam. Who? Bum, 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 bum. It's an army of Bizarros. But what are they running from? Oh, it's this. Bizarro Brainiac. Brain Zorro. Yeah, so there you go. And they're running as Brain Zario is destroying Bizarro Metropolis, Don't stop. Anyway, how are they going to get out of this? Well, of course, you got to get your copy of World's Finest, and then you'll know how they get out of this one. It doesn't end the story though. They create another problem, which is probably kind of predictable, but well, anyways, you'll have to check that out in World's Finest 42. Well, the last time I did Conan the Barbarian, I was out of sync. I had missed this issue, which precedes that one. So it was the one with the shapeshifter and all that. So, hey, what happened in between? Well, this issue tells you all about it. And so it's, what is this? Issue 22 of Conan the Barbarian, which is typically one of the best titles out there. So the story is called A Nest of Serpents Part 2, Diamond in the Dirt. So, 3 weeks ago, Conan thought his latest quest was at an end. Prepare for death, worm. Now he fights for his life against a colossal warrior named Crumva the Carver. And he carves his opponents with these. See? Yeah. Plus, he's really big, so, it's not looking good for Conan, is it? No. Okay. And this is the gladiatorial arena of Kashada, a city of dark sorcery in Stygia. For the citizens, this is bloodletting as entertainment to keep the public engaged and amused. For the ruling council of the Black Ring, including the infamous Thoth Amon, it is a time to show their dominance over the masses. But the violent proceedings are barely even a distraction as they return to discussing their clandestine matters. Eager to prove herself to those same sorcerers is Aether Bast, an ambitious enchantress who wields great magical power of her own. Yeah. That's a lot of power. Yeah. By the way, a good artist on this, She says, rush it or run, it matters not. She has been gathering slaves to fight in her name as she works to raise her profile amongst Kashada's mystic elite. Either way, your corpse shall litter my trophy pile. Her latest acquisition included Conan the Barbarian, and he seemed to show some promise. But now, against the crushing might of
Crumva. Such potential seems quickly squandered. Yeah. So she's not all that happy about it, but you tried, but well, anywho, so not looking great for Conan. This big dude grabs him, throws him into the bricks and all that. You are fast, but not fast enough. Oh. The Grand Gladiator's grip is like steel as he grabs Conan and hurls him against the arena wall with incredible force. Before the barbarian can even register pain from the thunderous blow, he's struck again and sent sprawling to his knees. A knife as long as his arm cuts into his ribs. Ew! Before he is battered once more upon the sandy ground. Oh, jeez. Gotta be a better way to make a living. Well, he was captured and forced into this, so it's not like he signed up for it or anything. But anyway, every movement feels like fire. But the Cimmerian knows that to give in to the agony that grips him is certain death. Aetherbest curses her luck. She should have known this savage could not break the champion's unstoppable reign within the arena. Her aspirations for influence are ever out of reach. Or so it seemed. Conan's barbaric rage pushes him past pain, driving him back to his feet, back into battle. Crumva tries to cleave the Cimmerian in twain, but narrowly misses, leaving himself open. Well, it could have gone somewhere else, So, count your blessings on that. Anyway, to an attack as unexpected as it is debilitating. The crowd gasps as they watch the champion stumble for the very first time. No, jeez. Impressive. There's some of that fire you showed me back in the village. Well, she's getting a little excited, isn't she? Yeah, she sure is. Oh, man, how's that going to turn out? Well, you know the deal. You're going to have to get your own copy of Conan the Barbarian. Meanwhile, sometime later and in deep outer space, we have Flash Gordon number 10, written by Jeremy Adams, sorry, who's proven to be quite the competent and solid writer, certainly at DC, and over here for Mad Cave Comics on this Flash Gordon adventure he's done, and it doesn't disappoint. So here we go. Zarkov, can you hear me? Huh? Zarkov, it's time to wake up.
My hands!
Yes, Zarkov. You're naked.
Oh,
You're human again. Could you at least give him the scarf? Well, he's got the blanket. That's nice.
The feeling. I can feel. I missed this. I missed you. You're me. You downloaded our consciousness, which means I know what you intend to do.
Yes, the itch is gone, Zarkov. The programming we instituted has been fulfilled, and now you are no longer needed. Unless...
Unless what?
You can provide a reason that you should live. I am a creature of logic, after all, but looking at you is a reminder of what I have lost, and I only want to remember what I have gained. Flash! Under attack! Baron! If you can hone in on my signal, we could really use your help. Okay. So here's Baron with his best gal, Princess Aura. Keep in mind, this all has taken place after the classic stories of Flash Gordon. So Prince Baron and Princess Aura, they've gotten together, and, Flash is with Dale and all that stuff. So that little triangle's over with. Anyway, unfortunately, Flash, I'm having a bit of an issue myself. Baron! Hold on, my love. Flash. Oof!
Aura, are you all right?
No, now I'm mad. Uh-oh, and when Ming's little girl gets upset, well, you can guess what she's about to do to the fighters that are chasing her and Prince Baron. So it's a rollicking sci-fi space fantasy adventure, and it just never stops, and it's really cool. And so I do recommend it. Is that the end of Robot Zarkov? Well, check it out and find out, I guess. Elsewhere in deep space, you have Space Ghost. And this, I guess they're kind of doing it like seasons of television. So they did the first run. So now it's issue 1 of volume 2. So here we go. And of course, I prefer the Jay Lee covers because his art is just so damn cool. But anyway, as with the premise here, where it's basically Batman in space, is what Space Ghost is. His rogues gallery do consist of characters similar to what Batman might face, except all outer space stuff. But here we get Toy Maker, who would fit right in with Batman's cast. So anyway, here we go. Welcome to Playtopia Prime, the planet where the fun never ends. With brand new attractions for guests of all ages you don't want to miss. Bzz, bzz, bzz. We interrupt this hollow signal for a special message. Greetings, children. They call me the Toy Maker. And do I have a surprise for you? That's right. It's the perfect day for a hostage situation. Which is why I've rigged all these fine people to go boom in just 1 hour's time. Of course, there is one way for them to escape planet Slaytopia. Get it? And all it'll take is one teensy tiny little matter. Tick-tock. What'll it be, my darling Space Ghost? Because when you play with the Toy Maker, the fun never ends. Only your life. So then we get into some narration with Jan and Jace's grandfather, who's they were reunited with in the previous, annual of Space Ghost. So
I can only imagine how challenging this must be given the circumstances.
Boy,
I'll admit, I feel the same way. I've spent so long searching for you. But until this moment, I never thought about what I might say. So let's just start from the beginning, shall we? Jan and Jace Kepler, my name is Dr. Henry Contra, and I'm your grandfather. My only regret is that your caretaker wasn't able to join us today. Remind me, where did you say Dax needed to be today?
His work takes him all over, Dr. Contra. But I know that Dax would be here if he could. That's right. Dax is Space Ghost. Real name. Sometimes just get a little hairy in his line of business. So don't worry, he's got Bleep the monkey with him, so. And it works out, but I won't spoil it anyway. Hey, that's cheating, you mangy little flea bag.
Not bad, Blip. Maybe you can be useful after all.
It's 2 against 1, isn't it, Space Ghost? That's fine by me. We've still got time to kill. So let's start off with these folks. Space Ghost, the roller coaster. It's headed straight for us.
Before we continue, allow me to address the most obvious question first.
So it's back to the narration of the grandfather. So what's the question he asked the kids? Well, you'll have to get your copy of the brand new, season of Space Ghost from Dynamite Entertainment and see what happens. It's an interesting take, and I mean, as simplified as it is, and it's fine for all ages and that sort of thing, even though, yeah, there's some violence here, obviously, because it's very much in line with Batman. It's just in outer space, but it's got more of an edge to it than the old cartoon did. But it's like right there with Flash Gordon. It's a fun little romp. It's just good, yeah. So there you go, Space Ghost. Finally, along with Conan the Barbarian, probably the best title available, one of the best, I should say, coming out of Ghost Machine. Here we have Redcoat, which is a fascinating romp, mysteries abound and whatnot, and now he's had this adventure with this mysterious Northerner. That's right, he's only known by the title The Northerner. Which is a time traveler, shenanigans type stuff. And he's got this enemy he's got to deal with. And that's been the narrative so far. So here he is. He's teamed up with Northerner and this little girl. And off they go.
My name is Simon Pure. Though I'm anything but, as you'll come to know. Snickers? In the 1800s? What?
Because, time travel and everything.
The year was 1864, in the early hours of July 18th, to be exact. And whilst the nation was at war with itself, I was busy making a tidy living off it. Courier, smuggler, neutral party, whatever they called me, I went where the money pointed, north, south, it didn't matter. Then came along someone who treated every moment like it could end the world if he blinked wrong. This grim-faced Union man knew far too much about me, while I knew nothing about him. Save that he called himself the Northerner, and he claimed to be chasing a traitor through time. The munitions the cobbler is hauling, this wagon weighs 10 times ours. With luck, we'll catch up soon. What followed? Bullets, visions, accusations, and an explosion or two. And somehow, here I am, still alive, still uncertain, still in my red coat, standing apart from a world of blue and gray. The Northerner insists we have till sunrise to stop the cobbler from reaching Confederate General Hood and sealing America's fate, and thus mine. So we stole a wagon from the local cotton baron and gave chase down towards Atlanta, all with a curious young orphan in tow, who has more courage than I did at 3 times her age. Don't touch those, sir. It's voodoo. Mr. Pure. And you can say,
Hey, I don't think this guy's from this century. He's not. So, his future, weapons. Anyway,
Bloody hell, how does this musket work? Put that down! You're going to kill one of us or yourself! And we don't have time for that. And these round metal balls? Please, Mr. Pure. What's this metal ring? Pull it, and you'll blow us all up on the count of 3. That cobbler leveled his whole house pulling this little ring. Tell me, how can something so tiny be so powerful? Everything gets smaller come tomorrow. Weapons, the world, mines. That right? Well, if America's future is so dreadful, why bust your arse trying to save it? Because it could be worse, Mr. Pure. The way he says it tells me he's seen it. I hate that I'm starting to believe this man's fairy tale. Oi! Where are we stopping? I'm dropping you 2 all. There's a church a few miles north up that road. Missionary folks run it. It's a contraband camp. They'll take Sarah underground to freedom. You'll help the girl while I handle the cobbler. You said if this bloke wasn't stopped and America was split apart, I'd be too. Yes, that's still true. So I'm supposed to walk away and leave my fate up to you? I think not.
I want to stay and help too.
No, Sarah, you've been in enough danger because of me. Both of you, really. And too many before you. Well, too bad. Neither one of us is deserting you now. Press on.
So, how do they deal with this? Do they catch up with the nefarious cobbler? What else lies ahead in this time travel shenanigans? Well, you'll have to buy your issue of Redcoat and find out. Yeah. So, of course, inevitably, all the Ghost Machine stories, well, they're going to come together in some form or fashion. So, but Redcoat, of course, the art is amazing. But at the same time, due to its intrigue and everything, is a very close second to Geiger, which I see as the best of the batch. But it's just a great publishing imprint of Ghost Machine. So check out those titles, and you'll be treating yourself to quite a bit of delight. This is probably about as good as it gets as far as new comics today. Yep, that's it. So there we go. Oh boy, we've learned a lot, haven't we? Not really. I gave you a preview of some titles that you might enjoy, and my recommendation is you do check them out. Of course, Conan, Redcoat are the best out of this batch, but Flash Gordon, Space Ghost, pretty good. And if you really got to go for the mainstream, you just stick with DC. Marvel, poor Marvel, what are you going to do? So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this little tour of these comics with me, your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And we'll do it again, probably next, Wednesday, unless it comes and goes and turns into Thursday on me again. And, the rest. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching and listening. And as I said, we'll do it again.